I met a gypsy.
You think that with Chad, so I think K-Dub was in the 02 series, Villiman, Tim Ferry. Like, there were some good guys, obviously, but, like, you think about who Jet is doing it against, who Jet has 6 wins against.
I'm gonna get killed from the opinions here, but I'm gonna use RC as my deflector.
Okay.
Yeah, like RC will always say, he's like, hey, I didn't always have the deepest fields or the toughest competitors, right? So I'll just take his word at face value. And like, I mean, he just came in and, I mean, God, what an incredible career, right? Dude, 10 championships in a row. Like, it's just, maybe Jet goes and does that, and we're saying it about 2 people in the history, right? But like, perfect seasons, not one of them, but 2 of them. And by the way, the only perfect Supercross season, granted, small bike, but like, still impressive. The depth of field thing, and I'll don't quote me on the exact numbers, but this year we've got like 5 champions and 140 wins on the line, right? In any of the other previous years, typically there's 1 or 2 champions on the line and 40 or 50 wins on the line. And the reality is, like, the old guys aren't going to like this. Villiman's probably stalk me down and want to kill me.
I know. What, dude, I watched that segment and I'm just like, bro.
Yeah, he was pretty
come
energized about it.
Come on.
No, it's all right. Like, that's
good.
TV,
It's
though,
good.
right?
Yeah,
That's the Cobra.
Yeah,
and you got to respect him. The guy was a badass himself, right?
Yeah. He was there. But he's wrong.
Yep. Exactly. But yeah, I just look at it. Guys are racing way longer now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you go right now, like five, our top 5 guys. So Eli, Jason, Cooper Webb, Roxon, they're all right now in the top 15 for Supercross starts in their career, like in the all-time list. These guys are sticking around forever, and they're still just as good as they were at their prime in many ways, right? Very few of these guys have really seen a drop-off in their performance. Mm-hmm. And like, that just wasn't the case back in the day, right? Like, in healthcare tech, it wasn't the same, and people got hurt, and careers were much shorter.
I think you also saw, I think Wygant has like one of the best takes on this in saying that when you're Carmichael and you win 10 in a row, and then when you're Villo and you win 4 in a row, and when you're Dunge and you win 3, like, so the top guys in the sport, we had like this fake baseline of 27 because of Ricky, and then Stewie did it. Then Villo did it, and then Dunge did it. You know, so like, we kind of were living in this like almost false economy of like how long a career was. But then once we started getting into this, like, Anderson wins 1, Tomac wins 1, you know, Cooper wins 1, Eli wins 1, Cooper wins 1. Then you're just not having these dynasties where a guy, because think about the pressure to just go out on top. Like, every great champion, it seems like, over the last 15 years of the sport went out on, there was like a playbook. Like,
they didn't get replaced.
Go to Alden Baker, win everything, and retire burnt out and tired and rich.
And then show us your personality.
And then become cool.
Yeah.
But like, that was the formula, and people followed that formula.
Yep.
But then that formula wasn't like, it stopped being the model. And I think just that literally showed guys, and because none of them retired, they all stayed the top dogs. Fresh talent wasn't coming through in the way that it might have with like Villo, with a Dunge, with a, you know, you didn't just get those one-off guys stacked after another. That it just changed the landscape. Yeah. And I think everyone's gone like, oh, you can be 32 years old and ripping if you do this, this, and this right.
Yeah. We've doubled the number of guys that have won over the age of 30 since 2000, since Brayton did it in 18. We've doubled the number of guys. And now most of that is, you know, Eli and Marv's in there, Zacho's in there with a win, and but still, like, we've doubled that amount in the last 5 years,
which is incredible for a sport.
And so I look at that, you know, the depth of field thing, and I just like, we just got more guys out there that know how to win, that can show up on any given night, right?
Yeah.
Whether that means it's deeper or whatever, I don't know. Whatever. I'll give props to RC on this one, and one of these days we'll have the time. We'll go run it. But he wants to do like in college, where it's like the strength of schedule, And there is something. There's an ability for us to do that. It's just time.
Yeah.
That's like, give me an intern.
So explain that to someone that wouldn't know what strength of schedule is essentially and how it would apply.
Yeah, like I guess the most basic way is to just look at it. It doesn't matter when you raced. You can just compare how well people did against their relative competition.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, I don't need to race against you. I can race against your producer, and you can race against your producer. And depending on how we do against your producer, you can infer whether you were better or I was better. If you beat him, but you only beat him by a second, and I beat him by 3 minutes,
it's quite obvious.
It's got to be obvious that I did, right? Maybe that's the best way to describe it. So the strength of schedule thing would be, I think, a particularly cool way to do it. There's techniques to get at that, but
just takes time and energy.
Yeah, it's just time and effort, and give me some dollars and resource. And I come from a world of anything's possible, right? Like spending the first 15 years of my career in technology, like the norm is change. If you don't change, you're gonna get your ass kicked. It's like, listen, if we ship the same Xbox every 7 years, like, dude,
no one has a job.
It's like we're all fired. Frankly, if we didn't have something every 18 months or every 12 months, we were going to get fired. It's just, I was kind of groomed in a way where you've got to, whatever you created before, you've got to destroy the next year. And so you just get into that mode of like recognizing, and it almost makes you pedantic. Like if you're in the same homeostasis, everything's the same. You're like, I'm going to get screwed over here. I need to progress, or like, I know, right? The younger, faster thing is going to come.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.